Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me in this live webinar on herbs to lose weight. And this is, we're going to talk about mostly Western herbs. So we'll talk about some Indian herbs. And so we'll go through a few herbs that we feature. And then I'll talk, of course, about a little bit also about causes of weight gain. And then also talk a little bit about, some dietary guidelines, because we really can't avoid these, even though we're talking about herbal remedies. So first, as an overview, you have to understand the cause of your weight gain if you want to treat it with herbs, like any treatment. So you really have to do diagnosis first. To be thinking to yourself, oh, I've got a few extra pounds. I'm not happy with my hips, or I don't like my little belly, and then just go take a bunch of weight loss herbs. This is really not the correct thinking. So you really need to look at the cause of your weight gain, the type of weight gain that you have, and understand it, and why do you have it. And only then can you do proper diagnosis, can you do proper treatment. And this is usually the 90% of the problem with people who self-treat themselves. It's because they just go online and they read 10 herbs for weight loss, and they start taking these 10 herbs, or one or two of them, but there's no understanding of whether this is suitable for them, or it's addressing the reason that they're putting on weight. So let's go through some of these causes of weight gain first, because all the treatments are generally going to focus on these different causes, and you want to get that matched properly. So first cause, of course, overeating. Overeating, but more than overeating, we could say the number one cause would be poor digestion, weak digestion, low appetite. This is the person that wakes up in the morning and they're not hungry till 1, 2 o'clock. Then, 2, 3 o'clock, they get really hungry. Then they start eating, and then they keep eating, snacking. Then at night, they're eating more. Then late at night, they're still pigging out. So this is kind of a low appetite where you end up starving yourself all day because you're not that hungry. And then you end up pigging out later in the day, right into the night. And then that night food just never really digests and clogs you up, and then makes you congested and blocked and constipated and heavy and slow the next day, so you don't feel like eating again. And then the whole cycle continues. And even if the volume of food that you're actually having, because maybe you're just snacking all night or snacking in the afternoon, not even having big meals, it really won't make a difference. You'll probably still gain weight. So this type of person with a really low appetite and not hungry at all, and is generally has this weight gain, even though they're not eating much. So people who come to me, they often say, well, I'm not even eating much, but I'm gaining weight. So this is due to poor digestion, weak digestion, because you're not able to digest the food, so it just becomes heavy and glutinous and congestive and blocking. So signs of weak digestion is, 1, you're not hungry. 2, you can't digest a lot of things. Like you can't even eat a piece of bread. You feel all bloated or swelling. You can't eat heavy foods. You feel discomfort. Gluten, of course, is hard to digest, and it's definitely not conducive to weight loss. But you should be able to eat it without discomfort. And by not being able to eat a piece of bread, some gluten in it, or any heavy food in small amounts, then this shows your weak digestion. It's like when you prepare food, if you put it in the oven at too low of a temperature, it never really cooks and it just becomes gooey. Like say bread, you put bread in the oven and you put it at the low temperature, only 150 instead of 375. Then you just get this gooey mess at the end. You never get the nice fluffy bread. And that's what happens when your digestion's weak. So it's kind of counterintuitive, because most people think, well, I don't have much appetite, so I shouldn't be gaining weight. But in fact, it's that low appetite was why you're gaining weight. And people sometimes can recall, when I was young, I was hungry, I was eating breakfast, I was eating different meals, and I wasn't gaining weight. Now I'm not hungry, I don't even eat till afternoon, but I am gaining weight. So, because this type of poor digestion, low agni, and creates blockages and mucus or ama in the body, and this leads to slowness in the metabolism, clogging of the thyroid, clogging of the colon, clogging of the liver, and things start to get congested, and this contributes to a weight gain. So you definitely want your digestion to be strong. Another way to, of course, ruin your digestion is just snack all day or graze. Another category of overeaters is that they're just hungry all the time. This is more the Pitta Prakriti. The one I was just speaking about, this heavy, slow, sluggish, low appetite person is generally the Kapha type person, for those who understand these body types. But the Pitta type person, he can have another problem, and that is he's hungry all the time because he has burning and acidity, and he can't go without eating. If he doesn't eat, he can get acidity and heartburn, and then this makes him keep eating all day. So even if he has a big lunch at 3 o'clock, he's going to feel like he's got to eat more. So then they eat, and then after dinner, he doesn't feel satiated, and there's maybe even acidity or GERD, and then so he has to eat a fifth or sixth time, or even snack throughout the day to keep the acidity under control. So this too strong of digestion, too much fire and acidity, also can contribute to weight gain. Other reasons is like emotional reasons, of course. Particularly the Vata type Prakriti body type person can have nervousness or anxiety. So maybe they're unstable, they're insecure in their life, they're having some difficulties, and so they may feel anxious and go to food as a comfort source, and then they end up eating all day. So even anxiety and nervousness can create a weight gain. So in that case, obviously, you have a person who's nervous, anxious, not sleeping, and eating instead. Well, you don't want to give them stimulating foods. You want to stimulating herbs, I should say, like elethro or ginseng or green tea, because they already have anxiety. And in fact, you want to go the other direction, give them calming herbs to help them sleep and relax and work through this stressful period in their life, so they don't overeat. And for the type who has a weak digestion, you want to give hot, spicy foods, ginger, pepper, garlic, onion, to get the fire going, to clear out the mucus, reduce down the dairy, the kapha increasing foods like potatoes, wheat, meat, nuts, and then the appetite becomes stronger by having hotter, spicier foods, chewing on garlic, the ginger before meals, having a little pepper in their water in the morning, having hot water with lemon. All these things are to stimulate the appetite, like apple cider vinegar, for example. That's for somebody with a lot of mucus and congestion and no appetite. And apple cider vinegar washes away the mucosa in the stomach lining, we call Kladaka kapha. And this increases the fire, we call Panchaka pitta. And the digestion is stronger, the fire is stronger, and then the people stop gaining weight because they got the fire burning again. But remember, the Pitta type person who has a strong burning appetite, you can't be giving them ginger, garlic, onions, and spicy food all day, or you just make the situation worse. So you can see, even by the different type of person, you have to adjust the food and the herbs accordingly. Don't think that all of these herbs, just like not all food is suitable for everybody. In fact, there's not a big difference between spice and food and herbs. I mean, they're all plants, bark. We use some minerals and some other substances, but they're all in herbology, we use resins and other substances, but majority of it is all plants. And spices, for example, are for seasoning and have a nice taste. Food is sweet in general and is good for eating and building and nourishing. And herbs generally aren't as sweet. They're more bitter or astringent or pungent and have other tastes, and some even can be slightly poisonous. So, but they used for medicine. So herbs are like not tasty food, and food is sweet. We could say sweet herbs that we can live off and sustain. So everything we have is already here for us. We're already living off of plants. So to just take herbs for medicine that's why it only makes sense. It's only common sense. In fact, it's what humans have been doing for thousands of years, maybe even a million years, just been using different plants for healing themselves, like animals are doing still. We've, of course, forgotten this instinctive knowledge, and we have to relearn it, webinar at a time. So another cause for weight gain, and you're welcome to shoot me off some guesses here. I can look over, maybe you give me some ideas, but liver problems. If you're getting the weight in the front, like a big belly, right in the front, like the big pregnant belly. You see some guys, every face is small, arms are small, and they got the big belly. This is liver problems. So first of all, if you have a abdominal fat only, and you don't have fat on other parts of the body, like under the arms and under the teeth, it's probably related more to your digestion. But if it's big swelling like this, it's probably related more to your liver. If it's down below, it's probably related more to constipation. I mean, a lot of women have said, oh, I want to get rid of my belly fat. And I said, how many bowel movements you have in a day? Oh, one, maybe skip a day sometimes. Well, once you give them the herbs to get that moving and get more fruit in the diet, less dry, cold things, and get those bowels moving, well, the belly comes right down because it was basically congested. So it's no point to have started to take weight loss herbs when the problem's related to your elimination. And if there's a lot of swelling and, water retention and a tender liver, then your weight gain is due to liver function. So you really want to focus on the liver, not on weight loss per se, because you have a liver problem. And this is water kind of retention that's building up inside the abdominal cavity due to the condition of the liver. And there's other common reasons for a weight gain, but usually poor digestion, poor liver function. And of course, when the system starts to get clogged, which is a kapha type of condition, which comes from poor digestion, eating at night, snacking too much, eating nuts all day, irregular eating times, all these things are adversely affecting our digestion, our agni, and creating more congestion in the body. And this starts to create blockages like constipation. The lymphatic system gets blocked. Circulation gets blocked, and hands and feet get cold. The head gets blocked. It's not getting enough oxygen, so you're not thinking that fast, and your thinking becomes slow. And then even the breathing becomes blocked, and you have respiratory problems, breathing problems, congestion. So if you start to feel that you're having all these blockages, you're constipated, your circulation's poor, and you're even having breathing problems and congestion, then your reason for weight gain is you're clogged up. So again, you want to declog, decongest the entire body, get the bowels moving, get the lymph going, get rid of the heavy, oily foods that are clogging you up, improve your digestion, improve your digestive fire, start putting some space between the meals, having more hot liquids, getting steam treatments and things like this to get the body going. So and decongest it and declog. And I'd say that's a pretty common reason for weight gain, is people are just congested, not just respiratory, but the whole body becomes congested and blocked up. And this dampens the appetite, lowers metabolism. And in fact, in Ayurveda, the endocrine system can be blocked too, like the thyroid gland can become congested and blocked. And once the thyroid becomes blocked and congested, then of course it's not putting out the hormones that's necessary to keep your metabolism going, so you'll just gain further weight. So thyroid is not the cause of weight gain, but the congestion is the cause of the blocked thyroid, which contributes to more weight gain. So in Ayurveda, we have herbs that clean the thyroid and detox it, so thyroid function improves, and then weight loss becomes natural for the body just to balance back out again. So if you have thyroid problems, you want to focus on the thyroid problems. If you have liver problems, you want to focus on the liver problems. If you have emotional eating issues, then you want to focus on your emotional states, your sleep, and reducing stress and relaxing in these areas to help to improve your emotional state. So first of all, the first lesson here is don't start treating yourself for something if you don't need it. I mean, if you just think you're a little overweight because your thighs are a little bigger than you'd like, this may not be justifiable to actually start a serious weight loss approach. I mean, you can do harm to yourself if you're not really have much extra body fat and you start skipping meals, eating light, and you could become depleted, weak, fatigued, dizzy. And if you start taking some of these herbs that are very stimulating, you could become overstimulated, more nervousness, more anxiety, and your sleep could become worse. So you want to make a proper diagnosis first. That's really the most important. So after doing that, you want to then choose the right herbs. Now we're going to focus on herbs today, and let me bring up our first herb. And we got some slides here today, so let's see how this goes. We got the first one here. It's our first herb. Now, all right, everybody can see that. You see it? Yep. Okay, that's Garcinia cambodia. And this is a herb that Dr. Oz spoke about and apparently got in some trouble for stating that it's the best weight loss herb there is. So this herb is helping to actually the body, and particularly the liver, to break down the fat and metabolize it. And that's why they call it a fat burner. And apparently it increases hydrochloric acids in the stomach, which is very important because, as we mentioned earlier, like lemon does that, apple cider vinegar does that, creates more acidity in the stomach lining, which helps improve the appetite and helps you further break down proteins and better digest the food. So this Garcinia is really probably one of the premier weight burning formulas, but it's very stimulating. So if you're and it's very sour. If you taste it, it's got a very sour taste to it. So if you have acidity and GERD, these are the counterindications. You wouldn't want to take it. Acidity, burning. If you had damage to your esophagus, you get easy to get acid reflux or heartburn, then you would not want to take a Garcinia, at least all by itself. Now, if you go online, a lot of people are just selling this herb straight by itself, but like, you know, no herbalist is really just using an herb just by itself. So if you were a pitta and you really wanted to take this, then, you know, and you had this heat and this burning, then we can mix it with some cooling herbs, like even just coriander, 50-50, and that would help to take away this burning and heat, and you probably still get some benefits from Garcinia. And it also helps suppress the appetite and improve the mood as well. So a lot of times for weight loss, the herbs are focused on not so much losing weight, but supporting weight loss, like reducing the appetite, stabilizing the blood sugar, increasing the digestion, improving liver function. In fact, the Ayurvedic herb that I have here, weight loss detox formula, which is mostly Indian herbs, which I think you're not going to be that familiar with, Devdaru, Musta, Chikrat, Vidanga, and then the three herbs of Triphala, Haritaki, Amlaki, Bibataki, and Geminia, which we're going to talk about next, and then some ginger, Kalmeg, which is for the liver, cinnamon, and Kukti, which is also for the liver. So this has Triphala, which is a cleansing kind of formula, and two power liver herbs like Kukti and Kalmeg, and then Devdaru, which increases the metabolism, Chikrat, which is really strengthens the digestion and is kind of considered like a scraping, cleansing type of herb, and Vidanga, which is used for parasites and laxatives and constipation and opening things up, is like clearing, opening, fixing the liver, cleaning the body. So, you know, a formula like this is really have multiple tasks to be a weight loss formula. That's why it's called a weight loss detox formula, because this will clean you out, get things moving, and help to burn the fat. And then you can combine that with the tea, and in the tea is where I put the Garcinia. See, the first ingredient in the tea is green tea. So that will increase your metabolism, and which is one of the goals of, and now that's actually the picture there of Garcinia and how it looks when it's not dried. And so the next herb here is Geminia sylvestre. In Ayurveda, we call it Gumar. And Gumar is used for blood sugar stabilization, reducing appetite. And you can also find it in a lot of weight loss formulas. And it's in here as well. So we have green tea, which is kind of like getting the metabolism going, getting you going. Electro, which is also in here, which is an adaptogen, also giving you energy, getting you moving. And then the next ingredient after that is the Garcinia. So for the fat metabolism, the fat burning, the heating, and getting the digestion strong. And then the next herb after that is Gymnea sylvestre, this one here, which we call gumar. And that's in all of the diabetic formulas, the blood sugar formulas. This is the best herb for blood sugar. So it's very good at stabilizing blood sugar and reducing appetite. And so it's off, and so you can see there it's got some of the common benefits, and it's very nutritional, appetite suppressant, blood sugar absorption, reduces sugar intake, very effective in diabetes and blood sugar conditions, and helpful, supportive, we could say, in weight loss. So, Gymnea sylvestre all by itself isn't going to really make you lose weight. None of these herbs really by themselves are meant to help lose weight, with maybe the exception of Garcinia. But they're all together creating what we want, increasing the metabolism, increasing the circulation, opening up the systems, detoxing the body, getting things moving, suppressing the appetite, stabilizing the blood sugar, and getting the hydrochloric acid strong and the digestion strong. So you really have to have that multifaceted approach to weight loss. Here's another herb here that's also very good for blood sugar and is even better at stabilizing blood sugar. And it's very bitter. Gymnea sylvestre, gumar, is also very bitter. And we were talking about this before the recording, and people were guessing what it was. It's very bitter. It's a long melon, and people do cook it. If you know how to cook it, you can get rid of the bitter taste. But it's called bitter melon. And it's often in weight loss formulas as too, and it's used interchangeably a lot of time with Gymnea sylvestre or gumar, but for weight loss to help with blood sugar. But in diabetic formulas, both of them are used, plus other herbs to stabilize the blood sugar, including fenugreek. Fenugreek too is often used in weight loss. It's just supportive. It's fenugreek's in here. It's heating, hot, breaks up congestion, mucus, helps with respiratory, increases appetite, and stabilizes blood sugar. So it doesn't necessarily help you lose weight, but this formula together, increasing your metabolism, taking away your appetite, and strengthening digestion and stabilizing blood sugar, all combined gives you what that you want to improve, to lose weight. So let's see, I think we got another slide here. Oh yeah, this one. Well, I was going to make you guess first, but now you can see the answer. We were guessing about this one before the webinar, what it was. I'm still looking at your comments. If you do text me, I'm looking over if you have some questions, even though we'll save most of the questions till later. This is a sample of guggulu resin that kind of got hardened. Of course, I have it in powder form like this, black guggulu. And guggulu is probably the premier herb in Ayurveda for weight loss, particularly for when there's fatty liver and high cholesterol. And it's not in this formula, this weight loss formula, because it's so important. Usually I sell it separately and add it. So, or I have a cholesterol weight loss formula. It's kind of a detox weight loss formula. And stimulating weight loss formula. So I have another weight loss formula. It's kind of cholesterol weight loss formula. And that one is 20-30% guggulu. So guggulu is scraping, cleansing, and probably one of the best herbs for weight loss. Let's see here. So let's go back to, well, this is my slides. Hope you liked them. So let's look at a few more herbs here. Oh, there's one more. I don't see the slide, but it was called chickweed. How many of you have heard of chickweed? Anybody heard of chickweed? Well, chickweed, it's also in this tea. It's like the 5th or 6th ingredient. Chickweed. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe you could take a picture of the screen. You can get all those ingredients. But chickweed's in there. And chickweed is a diuretic. It gets the water out of the body because a lot of times a lot of weight is due to water retention, particularly if there's swelling under the cheeks, swelling in the toes, swelling in the ankles, swelling in the fingers. It's a lot of water. Water is very heavy. So and when your chickweed is helping to get this water out of the body. So it's a diuretic, and it's been used traditionally in weight loss. In fact, I've seen teas, just chickweed tea, being sold as a weight loss tea. Now, water retention was your problem, and you drink chickweed chickweed tea, then it's going to help you. But if you're already a dry person, you have dry skin and dry stools and dry mouth, and you start having, you're dehydrated, in other words, you start having chickweed, you could become more dehydrated. So I wouldn't sell this tea to somebody who's having sleeping problems, insomnia problems, because of the green tea and the electro. And I wouldn't sell it to somebody who's too dry because of the chickweed. And I wouldn't sell it to somebody who's too hot and have acidity because of the Garcinia. So you really want to match it to the right person. The only other ingredients in here I didn't mention were ginger, which is a kind of like a binder, bringing it all together and making things work better and keeping the digestion strong. And then stevia, which makes it taste good and also happens to help with stabilizing blood sugar in a small way. So that's the rounded out weight loss formula. And once you knew those herbs, I mean, there's many other herbs. I mean, these are just herbs that I use. Another herbalist could be using other herbs. Some of these, of course, are very common. But you could then, once you know these herbs, you can then formulate your own weight loss formula. So say you're a person, you're a little anxious, a little nervous, but you're clearly overweight and have slow metabolism, but you have a tendency toward anxiety. Well, you could get some of these same herbs like Gymnea, Sylvester, Garcinia, and, you know, fenugreek, cinnamon you could put in, ginger if you're cold, stevia to make it taste better. And then you could just leave out the stimulating herbs like green tea and electro, and then you could have something that was more suitable for you. And if you had a lot of acidity, you want to be careful with the Garcinia, even though that sounds like a wonderful herb, I'm sure. You wouldn't want to be having this if you have much acidity or heartburn problems. So you could leave that out and just have some of the other herbs mixed together, and you drink it during the day. But in fact, you know, for weight loss, to really, you know, what we call in Ayurveda scrape and clean fat, you need to have like a powders, and they're much stronger. So this is a type of powder. You're ingesting the whole herb, so you're having the whole spectrum of its benefits. Because when you only do a infusion or decoction, you don't have the oil-soluble aspects of the plant. So Guggulu wouldn't work very good in this type of tea because it's a resin, and you have to ingest the resin to make it effective. And it's only water soluble. And how strong is water? Not very strong. But when you ingest the actual herb, you're going to get much better results because you're getting all of the properties of the herb, just not the extraction of it like we do with a decoction or infusion. So weight loss is best to be using the whole herb, the whole powder. And I do have another weight loss formula where I actually have the Gymnea in powder form, and the Garcinia and Gymnea and another herb called Mustat and Devdaru in a little powder form, and I call it extra weight loss. So when we put those combined with this kind of general weight loss approach, then it can be more potent. So you want to pick the right formula for you. I did bring a bag of green tea here. It's good to get good green tea and not buy cheap green tea. There's many different types. I use this Den Rao green tea, organic, from Mountain Rose Herbs. It's a very nice green tea, and it's not too stimulating. And it's not, the taste doesn't become bitter when the water sits in it. And that's a problem with a lot of green tea, that you usually, to make green tea, you just have to put it in the hot water and you wait 2-3 minutes, and then you take it out quickly and don't let it sit in there. It becomes bitter. It would be the proper way to make most teas. But this Den Rao, you can leave it in the water. You can leave it in there for some time, and it's not aggravating. Okay, so let me just summarize now. Diagnose your problem. Find out why you're gaining weight, and don't just arbitrarily treat yourself with some diet or herb without really understanding what your problem is. And I would say half the people come to me, it's just digestive problems. They got a little belly fat, and they think starving themselves or something is a way to get rid of it, when in fact just improving their digestion, their eating habits is more than enough. So you don't want to do a treatment you don't need to do. And a lot of people are kind of obsessed sometimes with weight loss when that's not really their issue. But if you're truly an overweight person and you want to lose weight, then this type of combination of following the right diet for you, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't have cheese and can't have wheat, not everybody. So like I said, if you had nervousness and anxiety, you know, cheese may help you. Even if you had a strong burning appetite, even little small amounts of dairy. So just say eliminating all dairy and eliminating all wheat isn't always the cure-all. I have a lot of people who I've worked with who come back to me and said, well, I'm eating more than before. I'm having even 3 meals a day. Not to say that everybody should have 3 meals a day, because if you really don't have much appetite and you want to lose weight and you're kapha, just 2 meals a day is fine. But I've had people come back and say they're having 3 meals a day, eating twice as much as they were before and losing weight. Well, that's a sign that their digestion is working good. And if you're thinking, oh, I'm not even eating that much and I'm still losing weight, then, you know, this is a reason why you're gaining weight, is because of your poor digestion. So I hope that helped you understand, you know, the importance of diagnosing yourself and then understanding why you gain weight and doing all the things that you can first before you start an herbal treatment, like changing your eating habits, changing your patterns. Eating nuts all day will be a weight gainer. So if you're eating nuts all day and snacking, there's no point for you to, and you're gaining weight, you know, there's no point for you to start an herbal treatment until you get rid of the habit that's probably contributing to your weight gain. A lot of people, they try to reduce down the meals and they're still snacking on healthy foods, so to speak. And it really should be the opposite. You should get rid of all the snacks and just focus on your meals. Because snacking or multiple meals, 4 or 5 meals, or grazing during the day, this is a fast way to ruin your digestion, clog up your system, and start slowly gaining weight. Constipation is another reason to gain weight, particularly when you get like a pear shape where you get bigger on the bottom. This is a common problem with constipation. So I hope that helped you. Hey, Emily, can you come over here and get rid of this picture on the screen? Oh, I brought a little something for you to see here. This is what 5 pounds of fat looks like, by the way. So that's 5 pounds. I think this is enough extra fat to be carrying around with you. So much more than this, and you know, you are going to be carrying a lot of extra weight around. And I hope that motivates you to lose that extra 5 pounds. But again, you don't want to be too thin either. Being underweight and having no fat is actually more detrimental. That creates nervousness, anxiety. It's a sign of nutritional problems because you need fat on the body to lubricate the skin, lubricate the joints. You can know if you're having too little fat, if all your bones are cracking, and then you're even, you know, you're cracking joints all the time, you don't have enough lubrication. You can look at the back of your skin and look how thin the skin is. If it's like paper thin, then you don't have enough fat. So even if you got a little belly or a little thighs you're not happy with, but all your joints are cracking and your skin is paper thin, just leaving out more fat, which is probably what you've been doing in your diet, is only going to exacerbate and make other problems worse. So it's very important when you're treating yourself, and definitely if you're a professional treating other people, you don't want to create a new problem when you try to treat somebody. And this is what I see a lot of times with people. For example, they do a carb-free diet. They're not having any grains, any carbs. It's actually impossible to live without carbs. And then they become nervous and anxious, and because they don't have any B vitamins and to help ground them out. And so you don't need to do an extreme diet like that. A lot of people, most of the people who come to me with weight loss have already tried extreme diets, already tried eating less, and, you know, of course, cutting back fat and cutting back oil has nothing to do with weight loss. And it actually can create other health problems, even neurological problems, memory problems, and cognitive problems, and even skin problems due to you leaving out fat. Of course, fried foods, oily foods, too much red meat is all going to contribute to fatty liver, gallbladder congestion, and ultimately cholesterol, and then weight gain. So leaving out these heavy fatty foods will be a good start. Fried foods, not snacking, not eating at night, having regular times, becoming vegetarian. All these are good steps without becoming radical and not eating all carbs or only eating all protein all day long. These can be very harmful diets. Like a high protein diet, where you're just eating high protein all day, this generally leads to kidney problems, kidney failure later on in life. So you don't want to do anything too radical. And that's where the herbs are very nice, because you can just keep eating your 2-3 meals a day and take the herbs and let the herbs do all the work. Because if you don't want to gain, if you're not overweight and you don't want to gain weight, then you can try to avoid overeating and eating at night. But if you've already got an extra 50 pounds on you and you want to lose it, the herbs can really make a big difference in helping you to expedite this process and go faster. So generally, I try to change the person's diet first and eating habits first before I start loading them up with weight loss herbs, to make sure that they're going in the direction of weight loss. And once they start losing weight with the better digestion, better eating habits, and then they say, well, I've lost 7 or 8 pounds, but now I'm not losing any. Then I give them the herbs, and then it picks up again, and they start continuing to lose weight. And then if they hit another plateau, often it's because of the liver function. So if they're still doing good on the herbs and losing weight, I'm going to let them keep going with them. But if they lost 20 pounds, but they got another 20 to go, then, and I suspect, of course, there'll be many signs and symptoms of the liver being a big issue. So then I can focus on a liver cleanse, detoxing the liver, which is a whole different types of herbs we can talk about in another webinar. And that will often get them past this kind of plateau where they stop losing weight, is detoxing and cleansing the liver. And the whole time you got to keep the bowels moving. So a person can be following a diet, taking these herbs after the meal, drinking the tea between the meal. Like I said, taking this herb after meal, drinking the tea between the meal to stabilize blood sugar and cravings, and then, and of course, exercising, waking up early, exercising in the morning, other type of activities that can help you, but also taking other herbs. You may be taking liver tea or herbs for the liver. Maybe taking colon herbs to keep the colon going. So you don't want to be constipated while you're trying to lose weight. So you need to have the colon moving all the time. So I hope that helped you to understand the herbs that can help you. Gemina sylvestre for blood sugar, just reviewing. Bitter melon for blood sugar. Googaloo for cholesterol and fat burning. Chickweed for water retention. What else we got? And then, of course, green tea and eleuthero for metabolism and energy, and garcinia for just good weight-burning capacity. So amongst those herbs is enough. These are the main ones that I have here. Of course, I may support them with ginger, cinnamon. Supportive herbs for these formulas would be ginger, cinnamon, and fenugreek, which you could then mix with that formula and take it. And if you didn't have a lot of herbs and you wanted more results, you're probably better off to just put them all in a coffee grinder and turn them into powder and just take them with a little hot water right after the meals. You'll get better results than drinking a tea all day long. So, okay, I hope that was helpful for you. And I'm going to stop now the recording. And if you have any questions, you can just text me and I'll try to answer them. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you learned how to lose weight. I hope I gave you some tips for eating better, losing weight, and using herbs. And using these herbs are like your friends to help you to lose weight faster, to help you to not crave, to help you to not eat at night, to help you not to crave sweets or overeat, and clean out your liver and keep your bowels moving. Herbs are like your friends. So get the right herbs to do the right jobs that your body needs to lose weight. And that could be different for every person. So I hope that helped you understand. And if you need any assistance, feel free to contact me. Thank you very much.